everyone. This is G and I'm back with a new video. I apologize for the poor lighting, but it's like almost 5 o'clock here, 5 p.m. in New York City, and we're currently going through a thunderstorm, so you may hear some thunder crashing right now. Usually it's sunny. I probably should have made this video earlier in the day, but I've been working all day. I've been working since 8:30. I'm supposed to be working until 6, but I figured I need to take a break. So I hope you're all well. I know it's been a few days since I've made a video. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've been a bit sick, and then if I haven't been sick, I've been tired. A lot of my weekend was, being a responsible adult, shopping, cleaning, doing laundry, all the annoying stuff that just saps all your time and all your energy. But anyhow, I've been hearing online, and I've checked the Twitter, right, and about Laura Bailey and the supposed death threats she received. Now, if you've seen my comments on other people's videos, you may have some idea of how I feel about this. But I just wanted to make a video of my own. I see fault on both sides, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm calling shenanigans on this, right? Now, here's the way I see it. Did Laura Bailey get mean tweets, mean, salty tweets? Yes. Now, I don't know whether those tweets, from what I was just watching a Mecha Random 42 video, apparently these messages were from Laura's Instagram, the ones that she showed. They were from her Insta, apparently, and not even her Twitter. But she, I guess, made this image, right, even darkening out, censoring part of the tweets because they were spoilers about the game, as if people don't already know about the major plot points of The Last of Us 2, right? But apparently these came from her Insta, and she posted it. She made this image and she posted it on her Twitter, right? Someone cursing her out, someone calling her a bitch, another one wishing her parents cancer. Of the ones that I saw, there were only two there. One of them involving or mentioning a child, or mentioning her child. I don't know if she and Travis, for those who don't know, her husband's Travis William. So if you're a Full Metal Alchemist fan, Roy Mustang is married to Lust. But anyway, I don't know if they have kids, right? But of course, involving kids is never okay. And I want to be clear in this statement. I do not condone or agree with the language people use in addressing Laura Bailey. Ranting at her, getting mad at her over the character of Abby, right? It makes no sense. Get mad at Neil. Get mad at the writer, right? And even then, you should display that anger in a constructive way, right? And not use profanity and rant and rave, right? Of course, that's the ideal, right? People don't operate by ideals, but that's the ideals. But so I'm going to be clear, whether you're contacting, or whether anyone's contacting Laura or Troy Baker or even that simp of a man, Neil Druckmann, you should never use that type of offensive language, right? And use violent language, if only just to protect yourself from the legal ramifications of such. You should never do that. All of that, so let me be clear, I'm denouncing all of that, right? I don't agree with it one bit. That being said, I am not fooled by Laura's tweet. I do not believe for a second that Laura Bailey received credible death threats. There are two messages there that if I were her, I would report to the cops. But let me point out something. If you look at her Twitter, and I'm going to link to her Twitter and to Travis's Twitter and Naughty Dog and to Neil Druckmann's Twitter. If you check out her Twitter, you will see that while she had no problem cherry picking these statements from her Instagram, right? Not showing any positive statements. She acknowledges she received positive statements, but doesn't show them, right? So in my opinion, she cherry-picked these statements. She cherry-picked these, edited them so that they would not reveal any information about the game as if we don't already know, and then puts this out there to present, oh, look at all the hate I've received from the gamers. I'm not saying that she didn't get these messages. I'm not saying that they're faked. I think it's a mix of perhaps trolls who are acting as fans and some real fans who are very upset and who are lashing out at the wrong person. But I'm not going to say that these are fake. What I will say, though, is that she's not being honest about it. Because, in my opinion, if she were truly threatened, if she were truly frightened for her safety, she would report these to the police. And now I can't read her mind, but I have checked her Twitter. I've checked Travis's Twitter. Neither one of them say one word about reporting these these supposed death threats, right? Neither one of them, from best I can tell, have actually contacted the police, have contacted the authorities about these threats. Now, right now, sorry for the constant movement. Now keep in mind again, right? Travis is her husband. I would imagine that a husband finding out that his wife has been threatened would be mad as all hell. And yet, no reaction from him, at least online, from best I can tell. Neither one of them saying anything about we've spoken to a detective, we've been in touch with the authorities, we have reported these. Not even one mention of reporting these tweets to, I was going to say Twitter, but then I remembered it's not technically Twitter, but to Instagram, right? All social media is like hypersensitive and hyper alert to these type of messages. All you have to do is just click a report button and, link to it or write down what the issue is. So, to my knowledge, neither she nor Travis, again, her husband, have reported these tweets. They haven't taken any measures, from best I can tell, that a person who is concerned about their safety, be it online and or in person, would take to protect themselves from further harassment. So if they're not going to take these statements seriously, then I'm not going to take these statements seriously. More importantly, like as I said before, these are mean tweets. These are mean tweets, and just like the late night TV show skit, right? They choose certain tweets, right, that they feel will craft a certain narrative, present a group of people, often fans, right, in a certain, oftentimes negative way, and it makes them look like, oh, look, all the fans are crazy. All the fans are reactive, right? All the fans are living up to the full meaning of the word fan, which is fanatic, right? It's done to make people look bad. And this, in my opinion, is no different. She didn't, at least in my opinion, from best I can tell, she didn't post these because she's honestly concerned about her safety or Travis's safety online. She did it, in my opinion, to make critics of The Last of Us 2, especially those who are gamers who have played the game, right, who are not show media, who can be bought and sold, unless you're Vice. Then the Yakuza, Sony, contacts you and demands an explanation as to why you didn't give the game a 10 out of 10, right? But I feel, in my opinion, this is all about making gamers look bad. Look, they're harassing Laura Bailey. And I'm going to be clear, I am not for sending anybody messages full of profanity and hate. But I'm also not for being a spin doctor, which I believe she is doing here. It's not all that different from what Anita Sarkeesian did back at the height of Gamergate, in the height of Tropes v Women. What did she do? She took videos made by like 4 people, right? Thunderfoot, Mr. Repsion, I think The Amazing Atheist, and one other person. Might have been Sargon, might not be, I'm not quite sure. But she took these videos made by these content creators who were known for their ranting and their raving and their screaming and their swearing. And she used those to paint this narrative of, I'm a helpless woman. All the gamer boys hate me. protect me. I'm a strong woman, but protect me because 4 gamer boys don't like me and say mean words about me. And I think Laura, in many ways, is doing the same. Now, I like to believe that maybe it's just Naughty Dog putting her up to it. But regardless of the reasons why, in my opinion, that's what she's doing. She's using these tweets to craft a certain narrative. And from what I heard it from Mecca, who apparently heard it from Nerdette's newsstand, so ups to Tristan. Apparently, one person did apologize to Laura for the messages that they sent. And I did see that online. Laura accepting the apology. Again, I will link to all of the Twitter profiles in the description of the video. Right, but to me, that's what this is. This is less about Laura Bailey being threatened, which in my opinion she really wasn't, because if she's not going to take it seriously, then why should I? And more about painting a certain narrative, because guess what happens, right? Naughty Dog wants to make an official statement about how you can critique them, but you shouldn't lash out at people. And then Neil Druckmann, because of course Neil Druckmann has to come in, right? And he has to offer his own 2 cents about how he's received anti Semitic and transphobic and homophobic and thisophobic and natophobic messages, which again, he most certainly has cherry picked, right, to show that, oh, look at me, I get mean tweets too, I get harassment too. And here's the thing, I agree in general with Naughty Dog's statement of, you should not attack, you should not verbally, and in this case, writing tweets would be an extension of verbally, right? You should not attack people just because you don't like the game. I want to be clear. I am not for the angry, aggressive language and the profanity that was used. Nobody should ever send anybody messages like that. You shouldn't send it to Laurie. You shouldn't send it to Neil. You shouldn't send it to Mags Visaggio. You shouldn't send it to Troy Baker or anyone else. Whether you like them or dislike them, don't send them hate mail. Don't send them hate tweets. Don't flame them, right? Because it just makes you look bad in the end. It just makes all gamers or all comic book fans or whatever it is. It makes whatever the larger group is look bad. But I'm also not a fool. Neil is chiming in because he wants sympathy, because like Laura, he wants to turn this into a look at me, I'm being harassed because I made a controversial game. No, man, you are getting flack. See, Laura doesn't deserve the flack that she's getting at all. All she did was a job. They paid her, she did her voice work, and she left. Same thing with like Troy. Throwing flack at them for working on the game at all is just stupid. But with Neil, Neil created this game. Neil created all of this drama. He was the one who decided to make Abby absolutely unlikable and then make her a playable character through a large chunk of the game. Fans of this game and critics, fans of the original, right, have the absolute right to be mad as hell with him. Should you curse him out and make comments about Jews or stuff like that? No. Though I don't think effing Jew is all that anti-Semitic, but that's just me. I need a bit more context to take such a phrase as anti-Semitism, because the word Jew itself is not a slur, right? But anyway, what am I trying to say? He has brought the vitriol on himself, and while I do not condone the way people, or at least the way people that he showed, right? I don't agree with the way they express themselves. I agree with them with expressing themselves, and I don't have much sympathy for Neil, given that he started this in the first place. Because let's be honest, The Last of Us 2 is Neil's vanity project. It was meant to feed one thing and one thing only, and that was his ego. And now that the game is Jesus Christ. The game is not Jesus Christ, mind you. I'm just waiting for the sound to pass. Because of course there has to be someone having an emergency while I'm trying to record 15-minute video. Oh. Move on. Move it. Anyhow, as I was saying, Neil brought this upon himself because this game is his vanity project. He wanted to feed his ego, and now he's fed his ego, and now everybody is, at least the critics, I shouldn't say everybody, but the critics are lashing out at him because of the fact that this game, from best I can tell, just is not fun. People don't feel good playing it. Right, the storyline, especially the end where Abby is spared, makes no sense. This game is full of holes. It's at least when it comes to its storyline, right? The only thing people are near universally saying that is positive is that the game looks beautiful, and I'll give it that. But he pissed off the fan base. He took his bat, right, which is this game, or should I say golf club. He took his golf club and he swung it at the hornet's nest. And now he wants to whine and complain that he's being stung. Too bad. So sad. I don't have sympathy for him. And again, I don't agree with people sending him those types of messages, but I've also got absolutely zero sympathy for his plight. Laura, I have sympathy for, although, like I said, in my opinion, she's running the game. But I do have sympathy for her because she does not deserve the vitriol at all. But Neil, again, I don't agree with sending those type of messages, but I do not have one iota of sympathy for him, at least in this regard. As the saying goes, you made your bed, you made your game, now lie in it. You started this mess. Now you have to deal with it. So you get no sympathy on my part, Neil Druckmann. Neil, I listen to Anita Sarkeesian and think of myself as the Western Kojima when I'm nowhere near Kojima. Druckmann. I could care less about whether his fees are hurt. I do care, though, that he, Naughty Dog, Musso and Sony went out and copyright struck people and used illegal means like illegal DMCA claims to try and strike channels down and try to get them to stop talking about it. Channels that were negative, like RK Outpost and Heel vs. Babyface and Mr. H Reviews and Just Some Guy and many others. I'm concerned about that, and I think that they should be getting the business right. And people have a right to be angry with them and tell them what for about that, right? And that's the funny thing about Neil in particular. He wants to play this, and I think Heel versus Babyface said it best. He wants to play this, oh, look at me, I'm a victim. Yet he won't acknowledge that he helped and participated in the bullying of Az's channel, Heel versus Babyface, and other channels who were critical of The Last of Us Part 2. Critical of it. Channels that were fine about it, right, that weren't criticizing it, didn't get pulled down. There haven't been any reports yet of Naughty Dog getting in touch with websites or with gamers who gave them positive reviews and asking why. It's all one-sided. It all goes towards the critics, especially the vocal critics. When you try to silence people and you do it in a public forum and you fail, right? But when you try to do that in such an open, obscene way, if you think I'm going to have sympathy for you when people start yelling and screaming and using abusive language toward you. While I don't agree with the abusive language, no, I don't have a bit of sympathy for you. No, not at all. So Neil, I could care less. Uh, I could care less about his feelings being hurt. He's just trying to craft a narrative where he looks like the misunderstood artist or the misunderstood hero, and it's just the critics who are the bad guys. The critics who are being unjust and unfair and unreasonable, which is not true. Both Neil and Laura are crafting a false narrative. So for both of them, yeah, for that, for crafting a false narrative and trying to use the tweets of a few to make all gamers look bad, yeah, you both I think are very crappy for that and can go kick rocks for all I care. But lastly, as I've said probably 5 times at this point, I do not condone or agree with the language used to lash out at Laura or Neil. I don't agree with it. I also don't agree with the. Oh, come on. I also don't agree with them taking these messages and using it to tell a false story, to tell a false narrative, which is that gamers are angry or reactive or violent or fanatics, because we are not. Be honest about it. I challenge them both. I challenge Laura Bailey and I challenge Neil Druckmann. If you truly care about gamers, if you truly care about gaming, then show some positive tweets as well. Make an image, right? Go to the same source. Go to your Insta, Laura, and show images of people who were respectfully disagreeing with the character of Abby. Show pictures, show tweets where the person said, "Look, I hate Abby. I hate everything Abby is, but you did a good job." And Neil, show, I dare you. I triple dog dare you, Neil. Show tweets where people said, "Look, I don't like this game for A, B, and C reasons." Show the tweets or show the Instagram posts or whatever it is where you got reasoned, thought out critique. Not angry ranting, not angry yelling and screaming, not people using the F-bomb like it's the only word in existence. People who wrote you well thought out critique, who said, "I don't like this game," or "I don't like what you and Naughty Dog and Sony did, and here's why." Do it. I dare you. If you are about honesty and integrity and telling the truth about a situation, I dare you both to show the other side of it. Now guess what? I don't think they're actually going to do that. Because be it Laura or be it Neil, I don't believe either one of them are invested in telling the truth about the matter. Because see, it's easy to take something that is still very fringe, like gaming, and to make it look bad, right? Because people who don't like gaming or people who don't know it, right? It's fringe, it's scary, it corrupts kids. So all they gotta do is just find some bad actors, right? And they can just use those and go, "See, this is what gaming does to you." Same thing that happened with rock music, same thing that happened with movies, with comics, and everything else. It's easy to take something that is fringe, take the toxic fringe elements of it, use it to paint everybody in it with the same brush, and create this false narrative of they're mean, they're scary, they're abusive. No, they're not. No, they're not. Angry, sure. Gamers are a hornet's nest. But the rest of it is fundamentally untrue. But they don't care about the truth. They care about telling a story that will benefit them. Laura's very next tweet, right, after the "I'm being harassed" tweet was, "Thank you all so much for the positive vibes." You're telling me this wasn't about attention? This was all about attention. It's just like the Charlie Puth song. You don't want it. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. That's all this is about. It's about getting attention on Laura. It's about getting attention on Neil, so they can make themselves look like the persecuted party, right? Look at us. We're being persecuted. We're suffering unjustly. Well, as someone who has received a fair amount of mean tweets of her own, and who has made videos responding to those mean tweets, here's what I have to say. Cry me a river. Cry me the longest of rivers, and shut the hell up. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.